On planet Kane, settlers vanish without a trace. Detective Maxwell Rose tracks clues through desolate alien landscapes. What he discovers will change everything we know about this mysterious world. As ancient forces awaken beneath their feet, time runs out for the colony. Can Rose uncover the truth before it's too late? Watch till the end to find out what lies beneath. Don't forget to subscribe for more thrilling sci-fi adventures. The crimson sun dipped below the jagged horizon of planet Kane, casting long shadows across the settlement's perimeter fence. The air carried an electric charge, as if the very atmosphere knew something was amiss. Detective Maxwell Rose stood at the edge of the agricultural dome where the latest disappearance had occurred, his breath visible in the cooling air. His weathered coat flapped in the wind, revealing glimpses of the advanced scanning equipment strapped to his utility belt. Beside him, journalist Kate Meyer adjusted her recording drone, its soft hum adding to the evening symphony of unknown insect-like creatures that seemed to be watching them from the darkness. 3 colonists in as many weeks, Rose muttered, scanning the ground with his enhanced vision goggles. All vanished without a struggle, without evidence. His voice carried the weight of sleepless nights spent chasing shadows across this unforgiving terrain. The colony's elder, Robert Hale, approached with measured steps, his face lined with worry that spoke of years bearing the responsibility for these people's lives. "We need answers, Detective. People are frightened. Rumors spread faster than facts here." The old man's words hung heavy in the thickening atmosphere as the trio surveyed the empty field where young technician Sarah Wilkes had last been seen checking soil samples. Strange phosphorescent plants pulsed gently in the gathering darkness, their bioluminescence painting the landscape in ghostly hues that seemed almost sentient in their movements. The temperature dropped suddenly, causing Rose's breath to form visible clouds that dissipated unnaturally quickly. He knelt by a patch of disturbed earth, noting the peculiar pattern. Not footprints, but rather an impression as if something had simply dematerialized from this exact spot. His scanners picked up residual energy signatures unlike anything produced by colonial technology, sparking a suspicion that whatever they were dealing with wasn't entirely natural. Rose's investigation led them deeper into the colony's archives, where decades of geological surveys revealed patterns they'd overlooked. The disappearances correlated precisely with seismic activity clusters that didn't match any known tectonic behavior. "Look at these readings," Kate pointed out, her finger tracing data points on a holographic display that flickered erratically despite being state-of-the-art equipment. Every event occurs exactly 23 hours after minor tremors. Hale shifted uncomfortably, recalling the colony's early days when such details had seemed trivial. "When we first arrived, there were stories from the initial survey teams. They spoke of finding massive underground chambers, but command sealed those reports." His voice carried the weight of regret for not pursuing those leads earlier. Rose felt his pulse quicken as pieces began falling into place like fragments of an impossible puzzle. The colony's construction logs showed deliberate rerouting of infrastructure around certain areas, sections marked only as geological anomalies. Pulling up satellite scans, they discovered something even more disturbing: vegetation patterns suggesting massive subsurface structures spanning kilometers. Beneath their feet lay a network of formations that couldn't have formed naturally, their symmetry too perfect, their arrangement too complex. "Whatever's down there," Rose said grimly, his eyes reflecting the glow of ancient monitors, "it's been here far longer than we have." Kate zoomed in on thermal imaging data showing heat signatures that pulsed rhythmically, like a heartbeat buried deep within the planet's crust. The realization sent chills through all of them. They weren't dealing with random disappearances, but rather a systematic process orchestrated by something ancient and intelligent. Their search took an unexpected turn when they stumbled upon maintenance worker Gregor's secret recordings hidden behind false panels in his quarters. The footage showed something extraordinary: faint shimmering outlines moving through walls, like heat waves given form, yet maintaining distinct shapes that suggested consciousness rather than random energy disturbances. "I thought I was going crazy," Gregor confessed during questioning, his hands trembling as he watched his own documentation of these events. "But I kept seeing them. Shadows that didn't belong, movements where there shouldn't be any." Analyzing the grainy images frame by painstaking frame, Rose noticed something chilling. The patterns matched ancient petroglyphs found in nearby caves during initial colonization. These weren't random shapes. They formed complex mathematical sequences that seemed to respond to electromagnetic fluctuations in ways that defied understood physics. Kate's journalistic instincts kicked in as she cross-referenced colonial history with renewed vigor. During the first year, there were power surges that coincided with equipment failures. Everyone blamed solar radiation. But what if? Her voice trailed off as realization dawned, connecting dots that had remained separate for years. Whatever lay beneath wasn't just aware, it was interacting with their technology in ways they couldn't comprehend. Their presence had awakened something ancient, something that had been observing them since their arrival, learning from their technological emissions and adapting its responses accordingly. The investigation intensified as Rose assembled a team to explore the restricted zones, areas deliberately avoided in daily colony operations. Armed with advanced scanning equipment calibrated to detect both known and theoretical energy signatures, they descended into the oldest section of the colony's utility tunnels. Here, away from modern construction, the original excavation scars remained untouched, preserved like wounds that refused to heal. Walls bore strange striations that defied natural formation, almost like fossilized machinery or crystalline growth patterns that should have taken millions of years to develop. "This pattern," Hale whispered, touching the wall reverently, his fingers tracing lines that seemed to shift under his touch. "It's identical to markings we found in those sealed reports." Their scanners picked up anomalous readings growing stronger the deeper they ventured, measurements jumping erratically between impossible values. Temperature fluctuations followed no logical sequence, sometimes dropping below freezing then spiking to tropical levels within seconds. Gravity itself seemed distorted in certain areas, causing their footsteps to echo strangely or objects to hang suspended momentarily before falling. Then they found it, a chamber unlike anything human-made, its proportions defying architectural logic. Perfect geometric formations covered every surface, pulsing with internal light sources that responded to their presence, as if alive. In the center stood an altar-like structure, covered in dust but unmistakably designed for some purpose beyond human understanding. Rose's comm unit crackled with static, though no one had transmitted. The hairs on his neck stood on end as he realized they weren't alone. The chamber itself seemed to be observing them, its surfaces shifting imperceptibly, like skin reacting to touch. Back in the main colony, panic spread like wildfire as more colonists reported sightings of shadowy figures moving through walls, while others described hearing voices and frequencies beyond human hearing. Security footage captured inexplicable phenomena that defied rational explanation: tools floating midair as if held by invisible hands, door seals opening against pressure differentials that should have required physical force, entire sections of corridors appearing to bend and twist like reflections in disturbed water. Rose worked tirelessly, correlating these events with historical data mined from forgotten archives. He discovered that every major technological advancement in the colony's history had been preceded by similar occurrences, each wave of incidents followed by breakthroughs in materials science, energy production, or medical technology. "It's learning from us," Kate concluded, reviewing engineering logs that showed patterns of innovation mirroring the timing of these disturbances. "Adapting our technology through observation." The realization hit them simultaneously. Whatever entity inhabited the depths wasn't attacking arbitrarily. It was studying, experimenting, evolving at an accelerated pace. Elder Hale revealed another buried secret. Periodic energy spikes had been occurring for centuries, documented by early survey teams who believed they were natural phenomena. The timing aligned perfectly with humanity's technological leaps throughout history, suggesting a pattern of influence stretching back to Earth's Industrial Revolution. Each surge of progress brought new capabilities, but also increased vulnerability to whatever intelligence guided these developments from the shadows. As they delved deeper into the mystery, Rose began experiencing vivid dreams filled with impossible geometries and alien symbols that burned themselves into his memory upon waking. During waking hours, he found himself instinctively drawn to certain locations within the colony, places where the boundary between their world and whatever lay beneath seemed thinnest, like paper stretched over a void. Kate documented these episodes with professional detachment masking personal concern, noting how Rose's brainwave patterns during sleep matched the electromagnetic signatures detected in the restricted zones. His REM cycles showed unprecedented synchronization with the entity's energy patterns, as if his mind was being tuned to receive broadcasts from an unknown transmitter. "You're becoming a conduit," she suggested cautiously, watching as Rose's eyes fluttered open from another restless nap at his desk. Like those early survey teams who reported hauntings before disappearing. Testing confirmed their fears. Rose's neural activity showed increasing synchronization with the entity's energy patterns, his brain chemistry altering in ways that defied medical understanding. Meanwhile, the colony faced new challenges that escalated daily. Equipment failures grew more frequent, creating dangerous situations in life support systems and environmental controls. Crops wilted despite optimal conditions, while atmospheric processors created pockets of breathable air that moved unpredictably, forcing colonists to wear portable oxygen units even indoors. The very fabric of their carefully controlled habitat was unraveling under the influence of an intelligence far older than humanity, its methods subtle yet devastating in their cumulative effect. The breakthrough came when they deciphered partial communications from the entity, transmitted through the colony's power grid in bursts of encoded energy that initially appeared as random interference. Using frequency modulation techniques developed for deep space communication, they isolated coherent patterns that suggested purposeful messaging rather than random noise. "It's trying to communicate," Rose realized, his mind racing with implications as he watched the translated signals form rudimentary shapes on their monitors. The messages contained mathematical constants alongside alien symbols, forming a complex language system that seemed to evolve with each transmission. Working with the colony's linguistics AI, they began constructing responses using basic universal concepts, prime numbers, geometric shapes, fundamental physical constants. Each exchange brought new revelations. The entity called itself Titan, claiming stewardship over this world long before human arrival. Through painstaking translation, they learned that Titan perceived their presence as both threat and opportunity, viewing humanity's technological development as primitive yet dangerously rapid. The disappearances, it seemed, served as attempts to understand biological consciousness rather than acts of aggression. Like a scientist taking tissue samples, Kate mused, though her expression betrayed discomfort at the analogy. Titan's transmissions grew more complex, incorporating concepts of time, space, and consciousness in ways that challenged human comprehension. Their instruments registered emotional states accompanying each message: curiosity, caution, and something akin to parental concern for humanity's reckless progress. Armed with this knowledge, Rose proposed direct contact through a specially constructed interface chamber designed to translate human thoughts into energy patterns Titan could understand. The room would serve as a neutral zone where human and Titan consciousness could interact safely, buffered by layers of quantum shielding and neural dampeners. Engineering teams worked around the clock, incorporating elements from both technologies while ensuring fail-safes protected colonial integrity. During preparations, Rose experienced increasingly intense episodes of connection, his body sometimes moving independently as Titan's influence grew stronger through their developing link. "We're running out of time," he warned, feeling the entity's impatience through their growing connection like pressure building behind a dam. The first contact attempt proved overwhelming. Titan's consciousness flooded the chamber with sensory information beyond human comprehension. Colors existed outside visual spectrum. Sounds vibrated at frequencies that resonated through bone and soul alike, and concepts formed in minds incapable of fully processing them. Through this chaos of pure experience, communication emerged. Titan sought understanding of human emotional capacity, particularly concepts like fear, desire, and hope. These experiences, foreign to its crystalline existence, fascinated the ancient being. Each session revealed more about its nature, an intelligence that processed reality differently, experiencing time as a multidimensional flow rather than linear progression, perceiving individual consciousness as ripples in a vast ocean of awareness. As dialogue continued, Titan revealed fragments of its history, civilizations rising and falling under its watchful presence, each leaving traces absorbed into its vast consciousness, like layers of sedimentary rock. The entity possessed memories spanning eons, yet struggled to comprehend mortality's urgency, viewing human lifespans as brief sparks in the eternal darkness. Your brief lives burn so brightly, it communicated through cascading light patterns that danced across the interface chamber's walls. Each generation adds layers to my understanding, but also brings risk of destruction. Through careful questioning facilitated by increasingly sophisticated translation algorithms, Rose uncovered why Titan had targeted specific individuals, those whose neural patterns resonated most closely with its own frequency. These harmonic individuals allowed temporary integration, giving Titan glimpses of human experience while leaving physical bodies intact but unconscious. The missing colonists hadn't been taken permanently. They remained in stasis chambers deep within Titan's domain, their minds serving as living conduits for mutual understanding. This revelation forced difficult decisions. How much access should they grant Titan to human consciousness? What price was acceptable for peaceful coexistence? Kate documented these sessions, her recordings capturing the profound transformation in both participants, Rose's expressions shifting between human emotion and something more alien, while Titan's manifestations grew more refined, adapting to human limitations while maintaining its essential otherness. Tensions mounted as some colonists demanded immediate military response, while others advocated complete withdrawal from Titan's territory. Security teams reported increased sightings of shimmering forms moving through colony walls, sometimes pausing to observe humans before vanishing again. Rose found himself caught between these factions, tasked with maintaining order while negotiating unprecedented terms with an alien intelligence that viewed their conflicts as incomprehensible squabbles among children. Through their growing connection, he sensed Titan's frustration with humanity's fragmented approach to decision-making. Unity eludes you, it observed during their sessions, its presence manifesting as shifting patterns of light that made traditional recording equipment malfunction. Yet collective consciousness is your species' greatest potential. This insight sparked a radical idea. Instead of fighting or fleeing, perhaps they could establish symbiosis through voluntary participation. The colony scientists began developing neural interfaces allowing controlled, voluntary connections with Titan, transforming fear into understanding through structured exposure. Kate's coverage of these developments helped calm remaining resistance, her first-hand accounts demonstrating Titan's willingness to adapt its methods to human needs. She documented cases where brief connections had granted participants insights leading to technological breakthroughs in sustainable energy and environmental management. However, not everyone welcomed this new direction. A faction of colonists, led by Security Chief Marks, viewed any compromise as surrender to an existential threat, organizing protests and demanding immediate action against Titan's influence. The situation reached crisis point when Mark's group attempted to sever Titan's influence through electromagnetic pulses targeting key connection points throughout the colony. The backlash was catastrophic. Titan reacted with unprecedented force, manifesting physically through colony infrastructure in ways that defied known physics. Walls rippled like liquid mercury, gravity fields fluctuated wildly causing objects and people to float uncontrollably, and communication networks collapsed entirely, plunging sections of the colony into darkness. Rose found himself trapped in the interface chamber as Titan's presence overwhelmed all safeguards, flooding the space with raw energy that threatened to consume his consciousness completely. Your kind cannot comprehend consequences. It thundered through multiple sensory channels simultaneously, visual patterns that hurt to look at, sounds that vibrated internal organs, and emotions that crashed like tidal waves. Through sheer willpower honed by months of gradually increasing exposure, Rose maintained coherence, channeling all his experiences into forming a mental bridge between Titan's vast consciousness and human limitations. He showed the entity images of cooperation throughout human history, moments when different cultures had found common ground despite apparent differences. Slowly, the assault subsided as understanding dawned. Violence served neither side's interests, only risking the destruction of knowledge Titan had accumulated over millennia and the potential future contributions of human creativity. With Mark's faction neutralized through careful diplomacy and emergency measures restoring basic colony functions, Rose proposed a bold initiative, establishing permanent connection nodes throughout the settlement. These stations would allow controlled, gradual exposure to Titan's consciousness while providing valuable data about its nature and intentions. Elder Hale, once skeptical of any interaction with the entity, now supported this approach after witnessing Titan's genuine interest in peaceful coexistence during their mediated sessions. "We've spent years fearing what we don't understand," he addressed the colony during a carefully organized town hall meeting broadcast to all sectors. "Perhaps it's time we embrace this opportunity for growth." Kate's coverage of these developments helped calm remaining resistance, her first-hand accounts demonstrating Titan's willingness to adapt its methods to human psychological limits while maintaining its essential nature. Through her work, she uncovered patterns suggesting Titan's influence extended far beyond this single colony. Similar phenomena had been quietly documented on other frontier worlds, indicating a coordinated approach to guiding developing civilizations. The entity confirmed these suspicions during deep connection sessions, revealing that its kind served as custodians for developing civilizations across countless systems. "Your species stands at a crossroads." Titan communicated through complex light patterns that evolved as Rose interpreted them. "Choose wisely, for your decisions affect not just this world, but the galactic community you're joining." Months passed as the colony transformed into something unprecedented, a hybrid society where human and Titan consciousness intermingled through carefully maintained connections. Rose oversaw implementation of safety protocols, ensuring no individual became overwhelmed by Titan's vast awareness while documenting the physiological changes occurring in regular participants. Through these controlled interactions, remarkable discoveries emerged weekly. Titan possessed knowledge of cosmic phenomena predating recorded history, including evidence of other ancient entities scattered across the galaxy. "We are but one voice among many," it shared during deep connection sessions that left participants awestruck by the scale of existence. Each star system hosts its own stewards. This revelation sparked renewed scientific exploration, with Titan guiding researchers toward previously hidden aspects of Kane's ecosystem. New resources with properties defying known chemistry were discovered. Medical breakthroughs emerged from understanding Titan's perspective on biological processes, and technological advances flowed from applying principles of consciousness manipulation learned through their partnership. The colony transformed from a struggling outpost into a beacon of interspecies cooperation, attracting attention from Earth-based authorities who debated how to handle this unprecedented situation. Despite these advances, challenges remained that tested the limits of this new relationship. Not all colonists adapted equally to the new reality, with some experiencing psychological distress from exposure to Titan's consciousness. Rose established comprehensive counseling programs combining traditional therapy with Titan-guided mental exercises that helped people process their expanded awareness without losing their human identity. Kate documented these personal journeys in depth, creating a comprehensive record of humanity's first sustained contact with a truly alien intelligence while maintaining strict privacy protocols. Through her work, she uncovered patterns suggesting Titan's influence extended far beyond this single colony. Similar phenomena had been quietly documented on other frontier worlds, indicating a coordinated approach to guiding developing civilizations. The entity confirmed these suspicions during deep connection sessions, revealing that its kind served as custodians for developing civilizations across countless systems. "Your species stands at a crossroads." Titan communicated through complex light patterns that evolved as Rose interpreted them. "Choose wisely, for your decisions affect not just this world, but the galactic community you're joining." This knowledge brought both pride and responsibility, as colonists realized their experiences would shape future encounters with other ancient beings across the stars. As the colony entered its fifth year of symbiotic existence, Rose reflected on their journey from fear to understanding while standing atop the colony's highest observation deck. Titan's presence had become an accepted part of daily life, its consciousness woven into the fabric of their society while respecting human autonomy and individual choice. The entity continued sharing its accumulated wisdom, accelerating human progress in sustainable ways that benefited both species. Regular connection sessions revealed deeper layers of Titan's nature, memories of watching galaxies form, experiencing supernovae as personal events, and witnessing the rise and fall of countless civilizations. Yet Rose knew this was just the beginning. Their experiences would shape future encounters with other ancient beings across the stars. Beside him, Kate recorded final thoughts for her documentary series that had grown from local news coverage to a comprehensive chronicle of First Contact. "Remember to subscribe," she added with a smile, knowing her work had documented humanity's most significant step into the unknown. Because the story of our place among the stars is just beginning. The camera panned across the transformed landscape, where human and Titan consciousness danced together in harmonious complexity, heralding a new chapter in cosmic evolution. Strange new structures combined human architecture with Titan's crystalline forms, creating buildings that seemed alive in their responsiveness to inhabitants' needs. Agricultural domes now thrived under dual management, producing crops enhanced by Titan's understanding of biochemistry while maintaining ecological balance. Children born since the partnership began showed unique abilities, heightened intuition, pattern recognition, and sometimes even brief telepathic connections with others, suggesting humanity itself was evolving under Titan's subtle influence. As twin moons rose over bioluminescent fields that pulsed in harmony with Titan's consciousness, Rose felt a profound sense of purpose. Humanity had stepped beyond its cradle not as conquerors, but as students eager to learn while contributing their own unique perspective to the cosmic conversation. The colony's experience proved that understanding didn't require similarity, that cooperation could emerge from difference, and that growth often came from embracing the unknown rather than fearing it.